Hello, friends. Pre-war push. Oh, wait, I mean, value vintage cards here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've been kind of labeled here lately as the pre-war pusher, and I will humbly accept that title, and I'm quite glad to be able to um, hopefully be at least one of the voices on the sideline cheering folks on as they consider other options for their collections. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's whatever fits your theme, your motivations, and your interests at the time. But for me, pre-war used to feel exotic and uh, foreign, and the more you dive in, the more you learn, the more you realize like it's um, really interesting. It's very diverse, and there's a whole lot of options that aren't crazy outside the realm of what you're used to picking up on a regular basis from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So, if you're a vintage collector, I would highly encourage you to at least explore and, if you just dip your toe in and grab a piece or two, I think you'll find it's quite interesting and the variety of options to fit whatever your, collecting style is are definitely available and something that you might find yourself a little bit interested in the future. So, let me show what I got. I pulled 20 items to show you today, and they are all items that I believe, um, I know I paid, and I believe you could also still pay as of the recording time of this video, less than $100. And most of them are less than 50, and some are less than 15 or 20. There's some real bargains out there, and unless I missed something, I believe all of these have a Hall of Famer on them if they're multi or are just exclusively a Hall of Fame player. So let's get rocking. A few of them I've showed before, so I did want to revisit, and I did this for diversity purposes. So you talk pre-war, you're into for card's sake, basically 41 and back, and we can go kind of way back if we want to, and which is what I pulled a little bit of. I have some ungradeds. Um, when I showed these were actually at local card shop. It was ridiculous, but Early Grimes script card. That's a W515. So when you get into these W's always the hand cuts. So they're always going to look a little bit to the crazy side. There's a little bit of variance in how well they're done. I think that one is actually a pretty nice image. Um, Hugh Jennings, their strip card. A couple of these I didn't document the set on all of these little strip cards. There's a W521, and they do have Rube Marquard. Sorry, my fingers are covering all these tiny little cases are hard to even hold. They're very tiny. These are, just for perspective's sake, I'll show you one in a second that's slab. You'll see how small it is comparatively if you're not used to these. And this one is a W515 as well, Rabbit Moranville. It was cut way too close. And so if you're one that is, concerned about it looking like it's supposed to, for me, there's only so many of these that exist. So if I can pick up an example, Card Shop was asking 15. I probably got that for 11.50 or something. Um, to get a just over 100-year-old item. This is like 21, 22, 23 years, somewhere in that ballpark. But Rabbit Moranville, Hall of Fame player for the price of a sub. Um, to me, that's something that is not only a safe investment, but a cool thing to pick up. And like I said, it was literally a fraction of that $15 that was shown. Um, Next, I'm going to go, I'll show you one that's slabbed. It's slabbed authentic, which is very normal for this era. Um, when you get a number grade on a hand cut card, all that means is somehow somebody guessed luckily 100 years ago and picked the arbitrary border and made it the right size that somebody down the road would want to look at and evaluate and say it's a 3 versus a perfect, beautiful, A. Um, this one is not a perfect, beautiful A, but really, as long as you're getting the name, the team, the frame of it, the sides are going to be a little rough sometimes. Hand cut could also be just poor. You see a lot of these where they'll see like just a missing chunk. It just kind of gets crushed into. But for me, it's a W551. Um, that looks exactly acceptable. And some of these, as you just saw, I mean, some of them look a little more cartoonish. Some of them look a little more like they were really trying to kind of make it artwork of what the player looked like. So, um, find one you like. Those are dozens of dollars, and you can add a Hall of Famer. Um, all right, I'll stick with one more kind of standard slab, and then we'll get into some crazy stuff. 1941 double play. So one, uh, you know, okay player and one Hall of Fame player. I looked this up. I am still floored how not expensive this was. But 1941, so we're on the verge of not being pre-war anymore. But check that out, Luke Appling. I want to say that was like 30 some, 40 some dollars. Like that's sub $50. That's a great shot of Luke Appling. I am a Luke Appling collector. White Sox infielder. Uh, Tremendous career. But for me, I mean the value end of things is insane. So I guess I'll finish off my graded items and then I'll go to some ungraded. Another hand cut W517. I might have shown this one recently. W517. I love that set. So Chuck Klein. I am a sucker for when it says things like Charlie Klein. That immediately pulls me in. Again, the 1.5. I mean, it could be an A and look better than a 1.5. This one has some back damage to give it a 1.5. The front looks perfect, right? That's all you want. So look for those with auctions, things like that, and you'll end up finding some pretty good deals. Sometimes you find buy it nows that are a steal as well, but um, sometimes you got to kind of hunt and do a little market prepping just to see where things should fall. 1936 National Shekel, however you want to say that. Fine pen. I love these. It's almost like you're getting a photograph to display. Is there any Lombardi catching? So I think I've shown that one before, actually, maybe when I just first picked it up. But to me, that's such a great value. I absolutely love that one. I love those images. It's hard to get pictures from those eras, so sometimes it's an outlier to find one. And this is one I've had a couple of friends say this guy's on the list. I was kind of shocked when I looked what I paid for this. This was sub 100. It's a 1936 National Shekel again, R313 of it's a big boy to collect. Rogers Hornsby, that was under $100. That's a great image. So you don't, if you want to get a cool Hornsby, you don't have to go Diamond Stars and Gaudy. And some of his stuff gets really, really expensive, but you can definitely find it's blank back. You can find things like this that are a little oversized. That kind of reduces the market of who's looking for it. But man, that looks great to me. Um, Love that piece. And he's with St. Louis there, so the Cardinal fans don't have to complain that I have another Hornsby with the Cubs item. Uh, do what I can to balance out his career for sure. All right. Now we'll go with a bunch of ungraded stuff. 1936, R313 yet again. If you want to double down, I might have shown this one recently as well. But Lefty Gomez and Red Ruffing together. Absolutely love pieces like that. Two Hall of Famers. I love the kind of laid back casual. Maybe they were warming up for the day. Maybe they were just hanging out in the bullpen watching someone else throw. I don't know, but it just looks like such a laid back, neat image. For me, that's it's part of the draw. It's great to get two Hall of Famers, but even if one was a Hall of Famer and one was just some guy on the team, those kind of images are just really neat. Next up, I will show you one of the cash-ins. I had posted this a little bit ago. I had no Ed Roush's, and all of a sudden, like two came available, and one of them was this cash-in, and I think he's one of those little like niche players. His stuff sometimes can go for a little bit higher than you guess, being that his name's not like an inner circle name at all. But these cash-ins are just phenomenal. 1929 cash-in. If you're not familiar, they are blank backs, but the imagery on these is just phenomenal. I love it. So it's another option. Dozens of dollars. This one, make sure I get the set right. I had to look this up, and I was still like almost in shock as to how little this one cost. This is a 1936 Gaudi wide pen. So it's an R314 if you're looking for the set designation. Blank back set. This one literally was 15 plus shipping. Frankie Frisch, Hall of Fame second baseman, Cardinal fans, Giant fans, take a look. Great Hall of Fame second baseman. That for me, how do you not do that? All right, R 311. So this is a really neat set. With this one, you can get either a glossy finish or a leather finish. I will start off with the one I like less. I like them both. The hard thing is you don't get every player choice with each finish. So sometimes if you want, like, I don't think there's a leather finish Bill Terry. So you end up going with the glossy because you want it. I do like Bill Terry, so collect some Bill Terry items when I can. That may look familiar from like a Diamond Stars pose. So seeing the actual image of William Bill Terry. Again, these are all, blank backs and things like that, but absolutely like that one a lot. Next one is the leather finish, same set. Hold a red roughing. So some of these I've shown when I pick them up, and some they don't. I don't do a lot of like pickup videos, and some months I feel like I'm getting things, twice a week, and some months I might get nothing. So the inconsistency of that is why I don't tend to do pickup videos all that often. Um, we'll go. Gotta go Wheaties. And you notice, I mean, I'm a player collector at heart, but I'm a lots of players collector. Uh, Luke Appling's one that I like. These Wheaties, I think, are just one of the coolest, best value items on the market. Um, I want to say that was like $12, $15. It's a mid 30s issue. Most of these are, 35, 36 kind of ballpark. You can get some bigger names. You can get Gehrig and DiMaggio, but you get a lot of players that are not those. And this one's not cut the best. Obviously, they cut off the S and Wheaties and Breakfast O champions. They kind of lost a little bit there, but I mean, I'm getting that for the image of the player, and then that really neat little like write up. Sometimes they'll talk about their stats. Sometimes they'll talk about an accomplishment. Sometimes it's just some silly little like starting your day with Wheaties kind of quote to market the product. But those are always fun and a treat and enjoyable to pick up. So you got five more to go. I'm running you guys through some stuff here. R303. So it's 1939 Gaudi premiums. I'm going to show you why I like these so much. I've got two to show you. Al Simmons. Great image of Al Simmons. What I like about these is instead of being blank backs, they're really neat backs. They've got all these different like layouts, how to field, how to play a position, how to lay out a ball field. For me, I love that. I think that's just so neat. So it's fun enough to get Al Simmons, but you get this little extra bonus on the back. So then what I'm going to show you is a guy that I think is well underappreciated. That's Joe Gordon. And this one, for perspective, it is a little bit rougher. It's got some holes in it. Somebody tacked this up and made this a poster, which I would highly encourage everyone to make these posters and display them somewhere. That's why I have them in top loaders, so I can set them on a shelf and use them like a picture. This is $15. So when you're looking at how to decorate your man cave, your card space, whatever, it's oversized. It's great to look at. A cool image, a Hall of Famer. And it's $15, so it's really like barely more than a print of just any old picture you want to buy and have printed at Walmart. I mean, it's crazy. So absolutely can't encourage you to check those out enough. Three more are all big. I'll go Butterfinger. Love the Butterfingers. Vernon Lefty Gomez. Great image. These Butterfingers are so big. I get caught up looking at the stadium in the background. Uh, Take a look at his shoes. Look at the detail on that. I mean, that for me, his glove. You kind of like zoom in and take a look at the details of it. Plus, it's a Hall of Famer, and because it's a smaller size, it's a very reasonable, or a larger size, it's a very reasonable price. Um, it seems like when you get the really small or the really big, prices tend to leave because it's outside the norm. Um, this next one I thought was really neat, somewhat recent addition, and a player that I didn't have enough of. And reading through and seeing, who he was and his contributions, and playing for a team that I support. This is a team issue. Look how cool that is. Gabby Hartnett. It is Leo. It's a 1931 maybe team issue. Pull that again, but when you go searching, just look for pictures, team, different keywords, and you'll find some of these cool little offshoots. And again, you're talking under $100. And depending how beat up you can tolerate, you can find these things sometimes for dozens of dollars, and you know, not even over $50. Um, so definitely a deal. This last one, we're going back to a player that I've already shown. It's the biggest item I'm going to show you. It's an M114. So it came out of a uh, like magazine that was basically a massive issue. This is one heck of a giant item, and it's still like $15. And it's a player I've shown you a lot. Let's bring him back. Let's check out that Luke Abling. For all the glare, you got a top loader like the size of a car. It's kind of hard to keep the lights from grabbing it from somewhere. It's crazy, but really neat. Get in there close, you can see some of the detail, and um, the picture of him is fantastic. So thought I'd wrap out and pull that thing off the shelf. Takes a little bit of work. That thing's huge. So that's what I got for you. I just wanted to show you and make sure I'm continuing that pre-war pusher mentality. And it's really not a pusher; it's an encourager, a supporter. If you're having questions, having curiosities, if you're not sure if you want to take your collection into that realm, there's a lot of ways you can definitely just dip your toe and pick up a player that you thought was interesting. Maybe you've heard of them. Maybe it's somebody that's been on your list because you know they're a legend for your team, but you just haven't gone pre-war yet. I just showed you 20 items. Cardinal fans, Sox fans, Reds fans. I think I probably covered just about every team in some way. Giants for sure. Got some Dodgers in there, Cubs, Yankees. I think I hit everybody. Cleveland. Uh, yeah, I think I did it. So that's 20 items you can check out from your pre-war pusher / value vintage cards. See y'all in the next one. Take care.